Means no one in the armed forces for say past 2-3 generations. And since I have only one daughter, and she's already married, she's an architect, married to an architect, so there'll be no more. Unless her children decide. Maybe there are some people from the village, but not in the officer rank. Some distant relatives could be there. That's one. But I studied in Kendriya Vidyalaya. That time it was central school in Fort Williams. And there used to be a garrison battalion there always. Those days it used to be a Gorkha battalion. So we used to see their crisp uniforms every day and see them playing, marching. That probably was the initial motivation to join the forces. But joining my particular course was an accident. I must also tell this story. There was a friend of mine, we used to sit on the same bench, Sujit Ghosh. He bought a form for NDA.
Is this on, sir?
Yeah, it is on. So he bought a form for NDA, and he was October 61 born. So he was underage by about 2 months. So he gave that form to me. I filled it, joined the academy, and that's how I'm here.
Thank you, sir. Looking back, vast experiences, a lot of moments happened in life, right till leading Sindoor, which I'll come to a little later. But in experiences, what are the experiences which brought you most joy? And this is a question I asked somebody else this morning. And if there is a regret, only one, sir, if there is one. So what brought you joy in your entire career span?
So, I'll give 2-3 instances which still gave me joy and happiness. I commanded 5th 9 Brigade, that's in Senapati district, Manipur, and 910 Dev in Baramulla. Both these places are affected by insurgency, and that's a people-centric conflict where human geography plays an important part. So even after I've left those places 15 or say 20 years back, people still remember me and they ring me up on any issue. And towards this fag end of my career, I went to Baramulla once again to connect with those people. I couldn't go to this place, Imphal, Senapati. That was much my desire. That's one. That gives me great happiness when these people ring me up. Second happiness is I was able to settle down, resettle 2 villages, Nilang and Jadang. After I retired first, I had gone to Harsil. And there, after 62 or some villages which are far up ahead, they were resettled into a Harsil area, Bagori village. And there those people had asked me, can we go back to our villages because Devi, Devta temples are still there and we have to, army doesn't permit us because that area is too far ahead after 62. So I told them, look, what can I do? I'm a retired man now. So he said, no, the first time a general officer has come, even if retired, please take this request. I didn't know that I'll become a CDS one day. And once I started this process of the resettlement back again to those villages, and partly it's been done. So that gives me great satisfaction. One more thing is Bob Karthing was one, Major Bob Karthing. I don't know whether people know. He was a Naga, served the British Indian Army and then the state forces in Maharaja's time, Maharaja of Manipur. He was like young husband, a soldier, diplomat, ambassador, all rolled into one. He got us Tawang in 1951, led a huge expedition. So rekindling his memory, that is one more thing which sometimes gives me great happiness. We started a museum under his name in Tawang with the help of then Governor of Assam, B.D. Mishra, and Chief Minister Pema Khandu. So such small things actually give you happiness which you thought you should be able to do, which is beyond your charter of duties, and sometimes they fructify. You must have attempted many more such things. Some of them fructify, that gives you happiness.
Sir, I'll change the format a little bit. We'll go to the audience, the youth first, because what happens is by the time I finish talking and ask questions, they don't have much time. So we'll take questions now, one by one, and don't be in a rush. Only children, no media, no veteran, no serving. Yeah, anybody wants to ask a question now? If you're not prepared, then I will go with the next question and come to you later. Okay, your age, please. No, the one. Please go ahead. He's a youth, sir, of the country. You need a mic at this age?
No, I can speak.
Speak.
Good evening, sir. I am Mayank from Ashoka University. Sir, my question is that, there have been a lot of army operations in the past also, like on foreign soil, there were the surgical strikes. Then in 2015 or 16, there was an operation along the northeast border by Para SF. So, sir, in your opinion, what makes Operation Sindoor different from the past operations of the Indian Army? Like, why is it still why there is still so much strong public sentiment around it?
I'll speak only from a military point of view. Operation Sindoor is different. I'm not saying was, it is still on, so it is different from all the past conflicts which we may have fought. So for the first time probably this was kind of multi-domain operations. That means we operated in all three domains in a coordinated kind of a manner. Largely non-contact warfare. Normally all wars have been contact. So this was largely non-contact. So, and it involved newer technologies like space, cyber, all of them together. The operation may have lasted only for 88 hours, but it required a huge amount of coordination amongst not only the three wings of the services, but with other instruments of governments or agencies and all of them together. So it was one very well coordinated operation, and that's why it was different from all other operations. In this operation, even you say the matrices of victory were different. Till yesterday, we would think how much territory you've captured, how many prisoners of war, how much equipment you've destroyed. Nothing. Over here, the matrices of victory was there was the visible effect, smart operation, coordinated operation. That gave you a sense of exhilaration and victory, that we could do this, say 300, 400 kilometers away with accuracy. Means imagine accuracy that something falling in this room accurately, 300, 400 kilometers away. That was unprecedented in our geographies. So that is why this particular operation was entirely different.
Just to add one point only, sir. 1.4 billion Twitter, that's the other effect, which you were asking about. How come it is more known is because of social media reach and young people like you who discuss matters military. In our times, we had no headway to military operations happening anyway. So that's one more part. So coming to your author skills. So book on nuclear energy. Then as a CDM, you have authored a prism in looking into Ready, Resilient and Resurgent. 2 editions. Has anybody picked up those books? You must pick up those 2 books. Okay, Ready, Resilient and Resurgent. You picked up the book? Great. And now the little bird says that you're writing something on Op Sindoor. So when is that book expected? And not from the classification point of view, something which the young people do not know from social media you want to share with them, which will eventually be in your book. Any part.
Yeah, okay. So the first book I wrote was Aftermath of a Nuclear Attack. And that is after I had finished my tenure in Army Headquarters on a staff appointment looking at these aspects. And what motivated me was that my line of thinking was not in consonance with the hierarchy's line of thinking. So I took a year study leave and wrote this book. So to portray my point of view. That was one. The last 2 books which I have written, Ready, Resurgent and Relevant, these are on the reforms which we are undertaking. That is to take those reforms to a larger public audience so that they are available not only to people in uniform but also to the civilians outside to understand how the military is trying to reform itself. So, and of course, the third book which you are saying is a trilogy, the third series of this, RRR 1, RRR 2 and now RRR 3. This is ultimately whatever we did was in some manner proved during Operation Sindoor, that jointness, integration, whatever we were attempting. So this book will contain the Operation Sindoor aspects, how I saw it. Of course, there'll be only that unclassified type of information, but I'll make it interesting for people.
Thank you so much, sir. We hope and look forward to that book as well. The human part, so you always touched upon this, sending me to transit camps from that period, which I love to do. And you were also a lead at DIAV at one point of time. I saw your name the other day when I went to invite the DAV people here for the lecture. So what was your thought process and what you wanted to achieve through that mission of DIAVs?
So let me say that, the next generation of soldiers who will join the Indian Armed Forces is directly dependent on how we treat our veterans and Veer Naris. If we treat them well, obviously there'll be enough in the youth who will see this and they'll be motivated to join the armed forces. If we don't treat our veterans well, the next crop of soldiers who join us won't be of that caliber and quality. And we want the best actually to defend this nation. So after doing my NDC, I got posted, Jal Bikram actually, he selected me to join this. This was the most unglamorous job, looking after veterans. People saw that he must have done something wrong in his career, that's why he's got posted here. But no, I took it upon as a challenge, and today DIAV is a huge directorate, well functional. We have veteran welfare officers down to formation level. So huge progress. All three services have these directorates. So we look after veterans. Largely, it was related to pays and pension. But right now, hopefully, this kind of issue should get sorted out another 4 or 5 years. And sometimes I feel that 20 years down the line, they'll have to reimagine what work they'll have to do because of digitization, awareness, there'll be no more challenges related to pension. So that will get automated and fixed.
So, anybody question? You were raising hand with a thumb like that. Yeah, the third one. Young man, you've asked a question to Rajvardhan Rathore, right? You are priority 2 now on the list. Yeah. Please.
Sir, my name is Rehan from SBV A Block, Vikaspuri. My
also question, ask a question, A Block, but go ahead. You got enough.
My question is that you are a defense force leader. Yeah.
Yeah. You are a defense forces leader, sir. He's saying.
What do you do in starting from beginning defense force? Let me.
You want to know his career span? Beta, baith ja. We don't have time for that. Apologies, but I will send you. You take my number after this. I will send you his entire career span. Right? It gets declassified on 31st. Yes, that girl there. Yeah, one with the right hand up. You don't know your hands? Yeah, you're the one. No, you were left hand up. The right hand up. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sir, my question is that, in your opinion, what is the true meaning of service to the India, and how can we serve to the India?
So all of us can serve the country in the various capacities. It's not necessary that the people in uniform are the only ones who serve the country. We, while serving the country, may put our life at risk, but other people also serve this country, and today probably economy of the country may be more important. Giving education to the whole nation would be more important. So these subjects are equally important as against security and defense related matters.
Yes, the one with the left hand.
Hello, sir. My name is Unnati, and I want to ask you, how can today's youth can develop leadership and discipline in daily life?
See, there are a lot of young people here, and you all must be at an important crossroad in their lives, and they have to select their careers as to what they will be in future. So I think first thing you must do is you should be able to understand your capabilities. Realistic assessment of a capability you should have. And you should balance out your aspirations with your capabilities. Otherwise, if there's a mismatch, there will be always unhappiness. That's one. And whatever you want to do in life, whatever you want to achieve, goal, the path and the destination should be the same. So you should choose that and proceed towards it. That I think will bring you happiness in life. Do what you want to do actually in life. You want to do. That will give you happiness. Select that as a career. You will always be happy.
So we'll divert our attention to this side. Anybody got a question? You? Nice. Go ahead.
What is the most important leadership skill you have learned that every student in India should live by?
I think the armed forces are known for trust. The whole edifice of this structure which we command, armed forces, is based on a system of trust. I trust him that when I send him to the transit camp and he gives a report, he won't go anywhere but go to the transit camp and give me an accurate report, so that whenever I give that sanction, that will be properly utilized. Or if I send him to carry out and patrol and find out where the enemy is or minefields are, and he would have actually gone and done that, and based on that I would make a plan. If he doesn't do that, then the results will be catastrophic.
Absolutely.
So maybe like, I'm very certain that artillery will stop firing at 200 meters before we reach the objective. So there is an unbroken system of trust in the armed forces. That should work. So we should build trust with your colleagues, friends. I think this is a factor which is now missing actually.
Missing not here, the other side. Yes, that young girl probably will be the last. Young girl. Firstly, you have to be young and then girl again. Give it to her.
You know that India aspires to be a developed nation by 2047, a Viksit Bharat. So all of us, and someone asked me a question over there as to how can we help the country develop. And I gave various fields. Some who don the uniform will be working in the field of security and defense. Other fields are also equally important for the country to develop. So in whatever path you choose, and again I said there should be happiness in whatever you do, that if you do it with sincerity, I think that's going to help the country achieve its goal. So your goals, and somehow if country's goals get aligned together, that will give you great amount of satisfaction also, and the country will also benefit. A developed country by 2047, who is going to be the beneficiary of that? Not people like us, people in the front row. We all won't be there. So you will be the beneficiaries of this also. So your larger stakes to see that India becomes a developed country. So work towards that aim.
So time is passing, and I think soon you will be re-attired like many of us, not many of us, few of us in the audience. And what next?
That's a difficult question. Means like every soldier, I'd also retire. But I've served, I think, the longest amongst you all. That's 45 years.
That goes.
And if you count the NDA days, that's the 4 years of NDA and IMA, that's almost a journey which is 49 years, half a century. So that's huge. So obviously I've accumulated a lot of experience, but it may be restricted to that security and defense dimension of this. And I want to share this with the next crop of Indian Armed Forces leadership, middle level, senior leadership, so that we don't have to keep learning and relearning that. And this, what I have learned in the past 3.5 years, has been entirely different from earlier leaderships, because till now it was only till the chiefs, whereas the CDS responsibility is slightly more than that, of service chiefs also, and interactions also are slightly more. So it's a new thing which we have learned. We want to streamline this system, get benefits out of this system. So probably we'll be able to teach the newer lot of officers who will be assuming the senior appointments in future, take them along.
Thank you very much, sir, for that candid conversation. I would request Anjali to take the event ahead.